Good morning. My name is Jel and we are Group 1. Today we are about to discuss one of the theories of cognitive development. So when we say cognitive development means the growth of a child's ability to think and reason. So there's a group of people who are focusing on studying human development based on psychological aspect. So it's called cognitive psychology. They are focused on attention on how individual process information and how they monitor and manage thinking. There's a lot of theories about cognitive development, and one of those is Piaget's cognitive development theory. So Jean Piaget lived in the year 1896 until 1980. He is a Swiss psychologist who became leading theorist in 1930s. He developmental psychologist who introduced a four-stage theory of cognitive development. He believed these stages were biological and occurred in same order, but environment and culture could change how fast we progress through them. So it's natural daw na nangyayari sa ating katawan. So it's a part of our system, but because of environment, yung paligid natin, kung ano yung culture natin. So, nagbabago siya, nagkakaroon siya ng malaking impact sa ating mental development. He believed that children actively try to make sense out of their environment rather than passively soaking information about the world. So, ang isang bata daw ay he depends kung ano yung nasa paligid niya rather than yung gathering all the information. So, he always depend sa kanyang current situation. So, Piaget's theory of cognitive development. So, he believed that children are active thinkers, constantly trying to construct more advanced understanding of the world. So, they are very active. They are like active searching new things. No, you like my son. So he always interested on new things. So that's why may mga toys tayo, may mga visual tayo because they are definitely active thinkers. So these understandings are in the form of structure is called schemas.
Schemas, concept or metal frameworks that people use to organize and interpret information. Sometimes called schemes, a person's picture of the world. So, ang schema ay naglalarawan ng isang pattern ng pag-iisip o pag-uugali na nasasaayos ng mga categories of information and the relationship among them. People use schema upang ayusin ang kasalukuyang kaalaman at magbigay ng isang framework for future understanding. Development of schemas. A schema is a mental model that organizes information about people, location, things, and events. People use schemas to arrange their world, knowledge, and comprehend new information. Assimilation. When we edit or transform new knowledge to fit into our schemas, this is called assimilation. It saves the new information or experience and adds it to what we already know. Accommodation is a process that involves adapting or revising our existing schemas in light of new information, which is an aspect of adaptation. As a result of new information or new experiences, current schemas or conception must be altered. Next, we have assimilation and accommodation. As children assimilate new information and experiences, they eventually change their way of thinking to accommodate new knowledge. Here's some example. 2-year-old Joyce has learned the schema for dog from her picture books. Joyce sees a cat and calls it a dog. She is trying to assimilate this new animal into an existing schema. Her mother tells her no, it's a cat. Joyce accommodates her schema for four-legged animals, and continues to modify that schema to include different kinds of dogs and cats in the neighborhood. So, based sa sample pics, assimilate is pagpoprocess ng idea and gathering information, not the whole big picture. Then habang matagal yung idea na yon, mas lalo siya nagiging malinaw at mas maol yung kaalaman mo.
Piagets' approach. The primary method was to ask children to solve problems and to question them about the reasoning behind their solution. Discover that children think in radically different ways than adults. Propose that development occurs as a series of stages differing in how the world is understood. Piaget believed that children take an active role in the learning process, acting much like little scientists as they perform experiments, make observations, and learn about the world. As kids interact with the world around them, they continually add knowledge, build upon existing knowledge, and adapt previously held ideas to accommodate new information. Cognitive development stages. Piaget developed a stage theory of intellectual development that included 4 distinct stages. First is the sensory-motor stage, ages from birth to 2 years old. During this earliest stage of cognitive development, infants and toddlers acquire knowledge through sensory experiences and manipulating objects. A child's entire experience at the earliest period of this stage occurs through basic reflexes, senses, and motor responses. Second is the pre-operational stage, ages from 2 to 7 years old. Children become more skilled at pretend play during this stage of development, yet continue to think very concretely about the world around them. Third is the concrete operational stage, ages from 7 to 11 years old. Thinking becomes much more logical during this stage, but kids at this point in development tend to struggle with abstract and hypothetical concepts. Lastly is the formal operational stage, ages from 12 to up. The ability thinking about abstract ideas and the ability to systematically plan for the future and reason about hypothetical situations are emerged during this stage.
Now, punta tayo sa contributions of Piaget's theories to current practice. Focus on active hands-on learning. Yes po. Dahil mas natututo ang estudyante sa hands-on learning, mas nag-i-engage ang student sa hands-on learning. Play is important. Yes po, dahil dito po mas nag-i-enjoy ang student mo. Lalo na kapag bata, mas nag-i-enjoy siyang makinig sa magiging lesson mo. Sensitivity to a child's current level of understanding. So, dapat maging aware po tayo sa ating magiging students. Lalo na po sa mga bata pa po. And acceptance of individual differences. Dito po kailangan po ng mahabang pasensya and understanding ng isang teacher sa magiging student niya. Kasi hindi po lahat ng estudyante ay same ng pattern of learning. Now, let's go to assessing Piaget's theory. Sabi, scientific research has supported Piaget's most fundamental idea that infants, young children, and older children use distinct cognitive abilities to construct their understanding of the world. But Piaget underestimated the child's ability at various ages. Piaget confused motor skill limitations with cognitive limitations in assessing object permanence during infancy. And last, Piaget's theory doesn't take into account culture and social differences. Ngayon, let's go po sa critique of Piaget's theory. Underestimates children's abilities, which is wrong. Overestimates age differences in thinking. Vagueness about the process of change. underestimates the role of the social environment, lack of evidence for qualitatively different stages. Some adults never display formal operational thought processes outside their area of expertise.
So now, I'm going to discuss how are we going to apply Jean-Piaget's theory in the classroom. Today, many teachers still use Piaget's theories to enhance students' educations. Piaget studied knowledge development in people of all ages, including young children, and his theories are relevant for K-12 classrooms. Applying Piaget's theories to your curriculum is simple, effective, and beneficial for students and teachers alike. So here's the step-by-step process on how we are going to apply Jean Piaget's theories in the classrooms. So step 1, research Piaget's developmental theory. Piaget believed that children reach distinct stages in cognitive development. Between age 2 and 7, children are egocentric and have a trouble understanding different viewpoints or emphasizing with others. So, sabi po ni Piaget dito, ang bata na may edad na 2 and 7 ay nag-reach ng iba't ibang stages ng cognitive development daw po. Meron naman pong children na nagmamataas at meron naman pong mga children na nagtutrouble sa pag-iintindi sa pananaw hindi katulad ng sa pananaw ng ibang bata po. So, they classify objects by a single characteristic such as a color or shape without acknowledging other qualities. Mabilis po nilang na-identify ang isang bagay, pero hindi po yun katulad ng madaming types ng color po. Like a one color lang. Hindi nila kayang intindihin po yun ng madami. Pero po from ages 7 to 11, children are capable of logical thought about objects or events. They classify objects by several different characteristics. Young people over the age of 11 are able to think abstractly and hypothetically. They feel more concern for ideological and more issues, not just concrete reality. Yan po yun. Sa edad na 7 to 11, ang bata po ay may kapasidad ng makaisip or magkaroon ng logical thinking po tulad na sa mga issue na nagaganap dito sa atin. Pero hindi po yung literal, hindi po talaga yung concrete, hindi yung specific na reality na nagaganap sa atin sa mundo. Yun po yung sa step 1 sa research Piaget's developmental theory. So now for the step 2, guide the students. Piaget recommended that teachers take an active mentoring role toward students instead of pushing information at students while they sit and listen passively. Share the learning experience and encourage students to be active and engaged. Take your students seriously and respect their ideas, suggestions, and opinions. Supplement traditional lectures with relevant hands-on classroom activities that let students experience the content for themselves. So according to the step 2, nire-recommend dito ni Piaget na yung teacher daw po ay kailangan maging active at saka natututukan po ng sobra yung bata. Instead of pinupush lang po natin silang maupo at makinig, ini-encourage po ni Piaget na pagalawin po natin sila lalo na matutunan po nila lahat ng kailangan nilang matutunan tulad ng paglalaro, having a free time po with their classmates po na kaparehas nila. Na instead of maupo, yun nga po, maglaro, tsaka respect din daw po yung ideas and suggestion ng bawat bata na kung nakikita po natin na naboboring sila, hindi, while pwede naman po tayong pwede magpalaro nang sa ganun mabuhayan po yung classroom natin at maging masaya po yung mga bata. Nang sa ganun po maging masaya sila. Yun po yung sinasabi sa step 2. For the step 3 po, it is encourage students to learn from their peers. This is especially relevant for children in the 2 to 7 age range, but applies to students of all ages. Learning to listen thoughtfully and sensitively to their peers and respect a variety of different viewpoints will provide lifelong benefits to your students, since different students excel at different areas of knowledge. Learning from peers also provides a true education. Dito po ay sinasabi naman ni Piaget na pasayahin natin yung classroom with the students na kasing edad nila, na dito po ay hindi lang po para sa 2 to 7 na age, but may a-apply din natin sa lahat ng edad na learning to listen thoughtfully and sensitivity to their peers and respect a variety of different viewpoints will provide lifelong benefits for your students. Dito po yung matututunan nilang makinig sa kasing edad nila, na matututunan nila yung pag-uugali or yung tinataglay ng isang kaparehas niya ng edad, na dito mas maiintindihan niya na yung mga bagay-bagay na kinakailangan niya sa pag-aaral. Na dito mas mai-enhance yung pag-aaral niya dahil yung kasama niyang mag-aral is yung kaedad niya, hindi yung mas mataas sa kanya, hindi yung mas mababa sa kanya, kundi yung kapantay niya mismo ng edad. So, dito po, yun na po yung for step 3, encourage students to learn from their peers.
Step 4. Allow students to learn from their mistake. Piaget believed that children develop knowledge about the world through trial and error. Mistake can be frustrating for the student as well as the teacher, but try to model patience and guide the student toward a different conclusion. Mistakes show that the student is actively interacting with the world around her and trying out new ideas for herself. So, sa step 4 po, sinasabi po dito na dapat natin hayaan ang mga estudyante na matuto mula sa pagkakamali nila dahil ito ang mismong magpapatibay ng mga personalidad na mas kinakailangan nila para sa kanilang future. Kailangan po natin silang i-guide sa mga gagawin nila at dapat tayong maging maunawa at may mahabang pasensya. Alam naman natin na mahirap talaga yung pagdadaanan nila. Madadapa sila, masasaktan, iiyak at mapapagod. Pero in the end, sarili lang din nila yung maaasahan nila. Mistakes is part of the world. No one is perfect, only the God. Kaya huwag tayong matakot na magkamali sila dahil dun lang sa pagkakamaling yon. Dun sila matututo ng mga bagay na dapat nilang isaalang-alang at isipin para sa ikabubuti ng kanilang sarili at sa taong nakapaligid sa kanila. Kailangan natin silang turuang tumayo sa sarili nilang mga paa, na sa gayon ay mapaghandaan nila kung anumang pagsubok ang maaaring karapin nila paglipas ng mga panahon. Step 5. Focus on the process as well as the result. Instead of focusing on having one right answer, pay attention to the many different steps it takes to reach a finished product. For instance, during an art lesson, ask the student to notice the different way they create a painting. Some may start at the bottom edge of the easel, while others begin at the middle. So, sa step 5 naman po, pinapakita lang dito yung pag-consider natin sa lahat ng aspect ng mga bagay-bagay, kabilang na dito yung mga ideas na mula sa ibang tao. Ayon nga sa isang sikat na kasabihan, two hands is better than one. Kaya kung proseso lang din ang pag-uusapan, mas better kung ikukonsidera natin yung idea ng lahat dahil minsan hindi natin alam na may mas maayos palang idea yung ibang tao para sa atin na mas lalong magbibigay na maayos at magandang resulta para sa atin. Maraming mga step ang pinagdadaanan para maabot ang finished product. Kung kaya kinakailangan natin ng sapat na pasensya at higit sa lahat ng kooperasyon ng bawat isa. Huwag nating hayaan na mag-focus lang tayo sa isang bagay o idea. Minsan, we need to try expanding for better process and very amazing result. Step 6. Respect each student's individual interests, abilities, and limits. Different children reach developmental stage at different times. Rather than pressuring every child to adapt to one learning style, pay attention to each child's developmental stage and adapt the lesson accordingly. Pigeon encourage independent, hands-on learning and opportunity for discovery. Plan a variety of classroom activities that accommodate different learning style, such as visual or auditory. So, sa step 6 naman po, dapat natin malaman ang kanilang mga limitasyon at abilities para matuto. Alam naman natin na hindi pare-pareho ang mga estudyante. May iba't iba silang kapasidad pagdating sa pag-aaral. May magaling sa skill at may magaling sa academic. Kung kaya dapat nating respetuhin kung saan sila mas makaka-adapt ng learning. Huwag natin hayaan na ma-pressure ang mga bata, bagkos bigyan ng oras para matuto at i-assess ang kanilang mga sarili kung saan learning style ba sila mas matututo.